Assassin utility, both players, but ladies and gentlemen, enough talk. Enough. Let's talk about the drafts. Let's see here. GEEK Fam will have the blue side. RRQ will have the red side here. GEEK Fam, they open the bans out with the Baksha ban and as well as Irithel. Meanwhile, RRQ, we talked about a boy with the Valentina. They banned it out.
Man, usually I think GEEK Fam goes for this very gold-heavy approach. They make use of Chadera and his flexibility to try and really outsmart and shut down the opposing gold laner. It worked wonders against Dewa because Watt was a huge factor in that team. But now against RRQ, Skylar is also one of the main tools that RRQ does use to try and get the damage out in the mid to late game. They could go for a very similar approach.
Speaking about similar approaches, this is definitely uncharted territories for RRQ. No Fanny ban, no Joy ban. Those two bans were their favorites, always banned out except for the final match they played in the regular season against Dewa. So now it's full-blown respect here. Valentina and the Mathilda, so we're getting exactly what we said about the Tyrant Lemon composition. It's a bit more dynamic, they can play with the drafts a bit better. Before the last ban, do they really want to let go of a Fanny, a Joy? These two heroes that can destroy a front-to-back comp.
I mean, let's see, right? I mean, even the GEEK Fam, they banned the Novaria out, seeing that I feel like yesterday Novaria has been such an expensive hero. Even with Fanny on the board, they still respect it. They still learn that perhaps Lemon can pull off the Novaria.
The Novaria, well, they banned it out, I think it's because RRQ, they're very reliant on surprising you, right? Just ambushing you in the jungles from the bushes. And Novaria, I think, is a big component in setting all those plays up. RRQ, though, they're going to be the ones banning away to Angela. So Angeloy won't be making an appearance today. Well, not now, at least.
I mean, RRQ definitely read the keys to victory there, and GEEK Fam, they will have to be satisfied here with the Fredrin pick. I mean, it's a good pick, very solid hero that now really loves and denying it away out of first six hand. Let's see here, RRQ, what will they respond with? Because Terizla is still on the board, Edith even is also on the board.
You're right, I'm not too sure about that Eve pick. Knowing that the Valentina, Angela, and Novaria has been banned out, it makes sense to see a pick like the Eve come out, but that leaves the Eve quite vulnerable to a lot of the dives that GEEK Fam may be going for after seeing that pick. I think the Terizla is a great choice to go for here. Another choice might be Edith, oh, for Naomi? Or even a flex pick?
The priestess of primal lightning.
It is going to be the Edith, but no Terizla. On the other side, it's Rafaela.
Man, Rafaela, and then there's going to be an Edith as well.
Naomi Raf? Or Lemon Raf?
Well, Naomi
Question
Raf.
mark.
Question mark.
We've always said that Naomi on the Rafaela is a bit lackluster. Not exactly his identity. And man, we talked about the matchups in the mid lane, in the gold lane, but even in the EXP lane, Luke and Dyron, both equally aggressive. And now if this Edith goes in the hands of Dyron, we have to wonder if he can really match the roaming potential that Luke can really bring on something like a Yutong.
You're right, I mean, the mobility on a composition that has Rafaela will be elevated, right? With a holy healing. Let's see though, with that, GEEK Fam, what will they go for here? Because I feel like the Rafaela pick is also a deny pick for Beloyski. And there you go, that's the answer. A boy given a Lilia in this opening game. Lilia, a very good hero that can burst you down, and against a Rafaela comp, which most likely to be a clumped up composition, I feel like Lilia is such a great answer.
Keep in mind that the slow from the Lilia, though, will be countered by the slow immunity from the Rafaela. But yes, the longer the fight goes, you rely on the sustain, but Lilia now, if you reach 5 stacks on the Angry Gloom, it keeps the dark energy keeps refreshing. So the longer the fight goes, it's a real potential for this Lilia to serve as the main damage dealer. So once again, if RRQ wants to try and shut down the main damage dealer, they might be forced to try and focus on 2 members instead of 1. Now with the Bruno picked up though, that's a Bruno Rafaela.
Yeah.
So standout strategy we've seen before. And what will be the next bans? Gold laners targeted by RRQ.
I mean, this is kind of what we have expected here for the Lilia pick up against this kind of composition. RRQ will try to get mid control, very hard mid control, if they want to utilize that mobility built in. And for Tyrant, 8,596 question mark is the amount of time in hours Dyron needed to successfully return to the playoff stage of MPL Indonesia Season 12. Man, these fun facts are truly fun facts.
Really, man. Last time, Dyron was still in the rebellion side of the organization. And now with RRQ, let's see here again in the playoff stage. Will he be able to create that impact? And if we're talking about Dyron, I mean, Khalid comes to mind, right? And there you go. GEEK fam, they will try to limit perhaps Dyron's as heroes in that Yudong, potentially Khalid if they really want to. But then again, X-Borg is still also available to be picked up.
X-Borg, a lot of pick-off immunity, quote-unquote. And against a Pakiro, it's definitely something that can match up in the damage department, avoid getting picked off as well during ganks in the early game. But I think RRQ, they might want to go for something a bit more aggressive. And I think GEEK fam agrees. Bending with the Yuzong, they might really be concerned about something going all the way in the back line. So I think you can expect something with a lot of damage output in the gold lane.
You mean Iksha?
Ooh!
I mean, it's a possibility that they might pick up the Iksha. We saw Iksha in action yesterday, but RRQ, they also, man, respect towards a Mr. Baloyski.
That's a lot of respect given over. We did see what Baloy was able to do on that Ruby just yesterday.
Yeah.
The blind, I'm
Conceal.
offended flicker,
Yeah.
conceal play. And I did get some information. That was a call out purely by Baloy. Chico with a comment. In my opinion, first Onyx, second GEEK, heading to M5. We'll see about that. That's a Martis ban as well, trying to deny a pick that is very good against that Fredrin to snowball in the early game, especially considering you have the utility you need to make those aggressive plays into Rafaela.
I mean, yeah, a Martis pickup for RRQ could have been great because then again, they can balance their composition out. Knowing Rafaela and Bruno, that needs time. They need a hero or a jungler that can win you trades in that early game. And Martis is such a good hero, and there you go. They eliminate Martis in on the board. RRQ, what will they go for here? What's on the board for them?
Ooh, we'll have to see, man. I mean, talking about the junglers, right?
Akai?
They've banned away the Pakiro, they've denied the Pakiro, the
Khalid,
Fredrin,
yeah.
and the Martis. But yeah, it's gonna be the Khalid here picked up first. They're hiding the jungle pick for later on in the drafting phase.
I mean, we low-key talked about Khalid, Dyron, very aggressive, and this is gonna be the composition, a hero that is also very strong in that early game to balance it out from that mid to late. RRQ has, let's see what Big Clam will respond with.
I mean, they already have this pick, this Khalid for Dyron. That's a signature pick. I think Anti-Mage has gone out to say in one of his streams that Luke is the best Khalid in MPL. I would actually say, personally, I think it's Dyron here. But needless to say, Luke is very good on that Khalid. He knows how to counter it. On the Paquito here, I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup, not in the fights, but mainly, well, not in the lane fights, but mainly in how he's able to maneuver around the map. Add on more CC and a solid damage dealer in the back to melt down these tanky members of RRQ, and you have GEEK fam's composition that is really going to be banking on front-to-back winning out against RRQ.
Now, every single hero that Fersic has played, though, has been picked up by GEEK fam or banned away. So now something new is going to be shown here. Is it going to be an assassin, or is it going to be more utility?
Let's see. With the carry picked up as well here, Arashi, I mean, it balances out, right? Carry, mid, 3 items? Then he is online. What will happen here to balance it out? They pick up a Grok and as well as Fred, and very, very strong here in that early RRQ. What will they go for here to balance? Okay, yeah, Akai, again, a very good hero, but then again, going up against a Lilia, a hero that can burst you down in that close range type of situation. What will Fersic do?
I mean, right now, the big question for me isn't what Fersic will do, it's what will GEEK do. They have a composition centered around, well, not completely centered, but they have a composition good for neutral objective takes. Now, what do? Do they play dynamically, look trades on the other side of the map, or do they commit? Do they double down on the neutral objective takes going up against the Akai in the jungle? We mentioned it yesterday, that if you go up against the Akai, against all odds, you're going in for that red tree battle. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, MPL ID production. I can't get enough of this, man. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I love it, you're right. Oh, take a look at Bruno juggling the balls. But yeah, game 1 of RRQ and GEEK Fam. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you to the land of Dawn. Who will strike first? Will it be the Kings of Kings or will it be the Geeks?
Here it is. We're getting straight into the land of Dawn. We own this. Is the tagline there.
Land of Dawn, game 1. GEEK Fam and RRQ. And you can see here the rotations already. It seems like, yeah, Skylar will have the Purify on the board.
Good reset by Beloy as well. Doing quite well at delaying pair 6 clear. That's something that GEEK Fam needs to play with here if they want an edge onward. There's Shatter. Beloy not with a signature first blood just yet. RRQ unable to get that, but it's a flicker burnt.
Good flicker as well. I mean, might as well. Right here in that sticky situation now. Let's talk about emblems here. Anything stand out?
Well, for sure, all the agilities here, because GEEK Fam, they need to outmaneuver RRQ, considering that they don't really have the edge when it comes to big crowd control, unless it's a big one like the Wild Charge. By the way, we have our questions answered here. Lemon in the mid lane with the Rafaela, with the blessing and the agility. He's trying to roam around and be as big of a nuisance as possible, but he's losing out in the wave clear department, so this Lilia pick is really shutting down Lemon's aspirations of being able to impact the side laners.
Take a look at the EXP here. Nile is way above first stick, perhaps 2 cams above first stick here. So rotation while now Nile's got it in the bag.
I got a question though, Rashi. When we see Rafaela's, usually we see Rave Smite or even Focusing Mark. It's an Impure Rage by Lemon. Anything to know there?
I think it's gonna be in the mid lane, a bit more spam heavy to try and clear, and a bit more aggressive as well. So I think he's going for that option because he's not intending on being in the front lines like we see some Rafaelas do. Now though, with RRQ having that heavy speed to play around with, are they gonna go for a fight?
They are. They're gonna go in hard, but the boy has the black shoes to disengage. Luke now with 2 hits! Oh. First blood onto Lemon. Now Dyron gonna be taunted. Appraiser's Rat connecting and a blade! Thrusting forward, finding another. Versik and Naomi left to run. It's a good disengage Earth Shatter, but GEEK Fam, my goodness gracious. They have won a neutral objective battle. They're diving straight into the turret. The Versik has the heavy spin, and Luke knows better than to dive in a Kai.
This can spell disaster. Oh, a boy. That's a good trade.
But now it's another Wild Charge coming down and a big wall to wall Lemon down. Dyron walking forward onward, and the Earth Shatter as Dyron picks up a second. Will look to be a big win for GEEK Fam. Has turned around, and RRQ has found payback.
Man, this mid lane play from Lemon, very aggressive, but always getting sacrificed in the process. We've seen this being a bit more of a trend because now the mid laners are a bit more of a, a bit more of an extra support. So maybe this Rafaela pick might be really beneficial for this idea of RRQ. Looking at the talent's predictions though, Mirko, I see what you're doing there.
Hey man, so far I've gotten all the right predictions. Maybe not in this prediction, but the real one. Beloy, Versik finds it, uses the retry, has heavy spin. Beloy has the power of nature, and both teams just play it safer. But Versik jumps in, no heavy spin again. Beloy's waiting, pops in the power of nature to get out of the baptism.
That's a good timing on that skill, right? Power of nature. But let's talk about Versik on that Akai not getting the first neutral objective. That can spell disaster because when you pick up an Akai, you usually want to pick up the nukes.
Nile locking Skylar down, but he has the Purify. Now Naomi is going to be the target. Wild Charge, good flicker out by Naomi. The Kingdom's Falcon flapping his wings out of a scary situation.
Wow, no trade. Again, GEEK Fam economy-wise, they're leading here 1,000 gold, Arashi. 4 minutes in, is that significant?
I mean, they have the better early game composition. Technically, a lot of burst damage. We saw how Lemon essentially got deleted in that first skirmish. So I think for now, RRQ is just on damage control, trying to make sure that GEEK Fam doesn't snowball, and then they can make plays in the mid-game where these tools for the neutral objectives can be beneficial, but man, Luke is just absolutely a menace, but so is Skylar.
RRQ get a kill on their most lethal member. Skylar on the Bruno. We know what he did back in the regular season when he first picked this. He got a triple kill and a big Sui. Let's see. Versick walking up. That's a heavy spin, locking him down. Versick picks it up. Niall unable to red tree right there with a chain CC and an onward. And then Earth Shatter, even everything in a kitchen sink thrown at him. Luke now getting caught, but he's able to flicker out to safety from the raging sandstorm.
Oh, that's a very tough blow to the side of GEEK fam. They lost Beloyski, but they forced that turtle fight. I don't think Arashi personally, that's worth it, right? You lost a member, you know what? Yeah, against Akai, especially, you don't really want to play that 50-50.
Well, this is where you were what you were asking about, Gonnie. Well, how can the Akai win out in the neutral objectives? This mid-game power spike is what they're going to use, and I think that's going to be the main pattern. In the gold lane, Skylar got 2 kills at this point, so that's going to mean that he's going to be a bit more ahead than Kudera, but that will be a big factor when it comes to those longer, drawn-out fights as well, already with the Berserker's Fury here.
With the Berserker's Fury, it will have that spike, a small spike for Bruno. 6 minutes in. And again, the GEEK fam, what they need to do is just play it safely. They were ahead almost 2,000 gold 2 minutes ago. And after that turtle fight, it's just snowballed. RRQ controlling the map with the structure as well, taking down bottom line. GEEK fam, they have less space to play with.
That's for now, though. Later on, this Paquito is going to be a huge macro threat. You can see a split push orchestrated by GEEK fam later on, and they are no stranger to those kind of macro movements. Unless RRQ, they can just shut down and just with brute force GEEK fam into areas of the map they do not want to be in. Looking at the gold differences by UBS Gold right here, especially in the gold lane, you're seeing 1,000 gold difference more or less, and even in the mid lane, a boy has a bit more of an advantage, but Lemon isn't that far behind.
No, not much. That is a big gold lead, though, in the gold lane, and that's something that is very concerning. Chidera doesn't have the golden staff just yet. Versick now in the mid lane, clearing it out all alone as Niall tries to pull it out. The turtle, that's an onward, another shatter. Beloyski with a wild charge, but the baptism there does not connect. Beloyski still able to get out with a flicker burnt, though. Niall looking for the retry, Naomi looking for the lockdown, and GEEK fam will decide, no, we cannot take this. RRQ have too much neutral objective control, and Rex Regum Kaon will secure their second turtle of the game. Niall
Lesson learned.
walking out this heavy spin, a boy not going to be pinned down just yet right now, but it's going to be the final pin with a Purify in. Black Shoes gets him out. No real source for both teams to go full commit, but Luke is in a tough spot. Naomi has flicker, but he decides not to go for it.
The calculations from a boy, man. Heavy spin, Purify Black Shoes. The composure this guy's got is still showing 8 minutes in. And again, GEEK fam, they lost the turtle because they learned from that second turtle, Arashi. You know what? Let's not force this. Let's just give it away and look for trades. And that is what GEEK fam did.
Well, for now, that is what the game is looking right? But after this first initial turn of tables, where RRQ now has the control, they're going to reach terminal velocity, where this carry and Lilia pick is going to do a lot of damage with enough items. So RRQ, they're actually working against the clock, and if you look at how people are moving here, Karasik is the one being disturbed, being irritated by Beloyski. So despite being ahead, RRQ, they're not exactly aggressing. All they're doing right now is avoiding fights before neutral objective spawns, and they're going to rely on the Lord to get those objectives. Looking at the items right now, it's just, for the most part, all damage. Lemon, though, with the Demon Shoes, he's trying to make sure that he has ample supply of mana to heal up his teammates and provide that rotation speed they're going to require in that Lord macro take.
I mean, great point. GEEK fam at this point, they're just weathering the storm here. Late game carry will be more than... Oh, Beloyski though.
The wild charge wasn't wild enough because the alien caught up with a baptism and the help of the Kingdom's Falcons onward.
Man, that's such a shame. Beloyski caught, and a boy, he's okay. He's okay now. Let's see here, RRQ again. They're looking to zone out members of GEEK fam. Lord is up. Let's see the setup.
Oh, good onward, and now look at the damage coming from Skylar. Earth Shatter not comboed in with a flicker. Niall walking forward, taunting Skylar up. This is quite concerning. Look at Skylar's mana. He won't be able to pop skill 1, and that's why he is forced to recall. If GEEK fam know about this, they can start to force the issue, a 4v5.
Okay, RRQ, they're committing to this. GEEK fam, Versick and Niall, who will grab it?
Well, now Luke is trying to zone the other members in the back line. Fersic jumps in with a heavy spin and secures the Lord for Rex Regum Kaon. Putting Niall down as well. It's double the value. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Take a look at top side as well. I feel like Geek Fam, they understand that, yeah, carry here. They did not join. He did not join. It's a 4v5 technically. RRQ gets it. But again, Geek Fam, they're not really looking to grab the wins here in that early 2 mid. They're looking to weather it out, be active, be more active through the lane.
My question is, when will this hit? The power spike for Geek.
I think at about the 4th item, more or less, that will be the time where the carry needs and underlying gold italic needs to be crowd controlled in the middle of a fight. Even the tankiest member on RRQ, the Akai or the Edith, will not be able to survive for longer than 2 or 3 seconds against the percentage HP shred. But for now, RRQ!
That's a 2-man wild charge. Fersic no heavy spin. That's going to be the red tree coming down. He finally gets it off a cooldown and he uses it instantly. Beloy's isolated away. They're not going to try to chase him down though. They'll focus more on the turrets. Meanwhile, Luke taking a page out of Iran's book. Naomi with a flicker, not connecting. Earthstrider dodged away from Chadera. Getting some good stacks, some good damage on Naomi, but RRQ are doing the same to the tier 2 bottom lane turret. They spot Beloy trying to look for a flank, and they say no, not today.
RRQ, they got the Lord, but they lost an inner turret as well. So Geek Fam, very good management here, especially if we're talking about that top lane where Paquito, yeah, cleared the super minions, grabbed the inner, and all Geek Fam members, they did not die.
Exactly, man. That is the macro play that the Paquito really brings to your team. Dyron tries to cut the wave right there to try and ensure that the towers won't fall, but he missed 1 minion, I think. That was the only minion that Luke was able to use to take the turret down. So far, even though RRQ has full control, it's only a 1.5k gold lead. It's not game-changing as of right now, and we are approaching the mid to late game stage of the game. This is where Geek Fam, they're going to be able to try and hit back. So RRQ needs to be a bit more calculative in these team fights. Now, if they make a big mistake, Geek Fam can absolutely capitalize.
Skyler's got that melted roar though, so he's going to start melting these frontliners for Geek Fam.
Let's see here. 12 minutes in. Tempo, pace gone down, but I mean, Beloyski is just a screen monster. He even committed the barrier and the wall charge there to try to steal the purple, but it seems like Fersic was still too clean with it. Structure here, it seems like Luke will sacrifice that, knowing that no visible members on the map for RRQ. Luke wants to play it safe.
Look at that damage. Down to half. Skyler is lethal. This is why he's so scary on any pick, especially a pick that can scale quite well, despite having some bully powers in the early game. Niall with a good dodge, with a dash. Away from the onward, now with the holy healing, RRQ gets in place of the Lord.
They might try and go and rush it, man, because earlier, the bottom side is no longer managed right here, and RRQ definitely go for something aggressive here.
Niall placed out of position. Naomi with a flicker right now as heavy spin pins down Chadera! Out of all the members, they found the gold! And now Geek Fam might not be able to go for this. It's free for RRQ. Meanwhile, Luke trying to clear out the minion wave in the mid lane, dodges away from the raging sandstorm, jumps in, dodges away from the baptism, and he might get out. Naomi with the onward, that's a flicker by Luke, and a clean escape, and another knockoff comes in to secure a kill, another baptism as well. RRQ with a 3-for-0 trade.
My goodness, RRQ. They weren't convincing in that early, but they surely convinced giving a convincing mid-game now, Arashi.
There's a big mid-game power spike, and they are not wasting it at all. They're going for multiple base towers here, it seems, but with Kadera up now, they have to be a bit more careful. But with the gold lead at 5k, now Geek Fam needs to be a bit more concerned. It's no longer the equal game that they were waiting on. But early on, though, I think RRQ, they let go of the bottom turret because Dyron, he was giving up the turret because he was afraid of a pickoff, but Beloyski
has to flicker out. The Earthshatter connects onto Niall, who's trying to frontline, but look at the damage from Skyler. So much. Niall has to move back instantly now. Fersic dashes out. Luke trying to handle the mid-wave right now. Jumping in, clearing it out. That's a raging sandstorm that did not connect. What happened? A boy was deleted by RRQ. He cannot handle this damage. The base can't handle this damage. That's another base turret down. And RRQ are looking for the executor, looking to end this game. Chadera with a few good stacks of damage onto Diamond. That's an onward and an Earth Shatter. Luke jumps over to the knockout strike, but Beloy gets melted down as a heavy spin. Takes Luke outside of the base, outside of the crystal. Now it's Skylar looking for a triple kill. That it is! Tadera, the only member left. It might be a Maniac, two Wind of Natures, but one comes out on top. RRQ, the Kingdom, strikes first.
The Kingdom strikes first in this best of 5. And goodness me, what a convincing start for RRQ. 0 play from GEEK fam, and RRQ managed just to steamroll with it.
Man, the discipline and the way they were able to just understand what the gameplay was, what was the counter available to GEEK fam, and deny everything. They stopped